A restaurant with a line outside can look better before anyone tastes the food. A video with millions of views can feel more trustworthy before anyone checks the facts. Social proof is the shortcut people use when other people's behavior becomes evidence. Social proof means we look at what others are doing to decide what is normal, safe, popular, or worth trying. It is not stupidity. It is a fast social shortcut that helps humans navigate uncertainty without studying every choice from zero. Review quality can make the surface story look simpler than the real situation. The shortcut works best when the crowd has real information. If locals keep returning to one mechanic, that may signal reliability. If experienced buyers praise a product after long use, their behavior can save others time and risk. Crowd behavior is often the detail that separates a quick reaction from a wiser response. The problem begins when visibility is mistaken for wisdom. A large crowd may be reacting to hype, fear, habit, or a well-designed promotion. The number of people doing something does not automatically prove the choice is good. Uncertainty in the room shapes what should be checked next. Online platforms make social proof stronger because numbers are visible. Likes, reviews, shares, ratings, and follower counts all shape attention. A person may click because a video has views, then interpret the view count as proof that the video deserved attention. Status signals turns the idea into something practical rather than only theoretical. Reviews are a common example. A product with thousands of positive reviews feels safer than a product with 5. But review quality matters. A detailed review after months of use is different from a short review written on delivery day. Children copying adults deserves attention before the choice becomes harder to reverse. Social proof becomes risky in emergencies or ambiguous situations. If everyone in a room stays calm during a strange sound, one person may stay calm too. That can help when there is no danger, but it can delay action when people are all waiting for someone else to move. The first person who speaks up can quietly move the cost from the present moment into the future. Fashion and status goods often depend on social proof. A shoe, watch, phone, or restaurant may become desirable partly because visible people use it. The object carries a social signal, not only practical value. Testimonial pressure helps explain why the obvious answer may not be the best answer. Children learn through social proof constantly. If a child sees adults reading, apologizing, exercising, or shouting, those behaviors become examples of what people do. Social proof quietly teaches norms long before formal advice appears. Fear of missing out gives the situation its real-world weight. The crowd also affects courage. A person may speak up more easily if one other person has already challenged a bad idea. The first person breaks the silence, the second person proves the first was not alone. Similar people giving advice is worth checking when the first explanation feels too neat. Marketing uses social proof by showing testimonials, bestseller labels, full calendars, waiting lists, and, most popular, options. These signals reduce hesitation. They tell the buyer, other people have already crossed this bridge. The cost of being wrong can decide whether the problem stays small or grows into a pattern. The same mechanism can make bad decisions spread. If many friends are investing in a risky trend, staying out can feel foolish. The fear of missing out grows because the group's behavior becomes emotional evidence. Copying without knowledge keeps the analysis tied to behavior, money, timing, risk, or trust. A useful test is to ask what the crowd actually knows. Are people choosing from experience, or are they copying each other? A long queue outside a clinic means something different from a long queue outside a temporary hype store. Waiting for someone else to move belongs in the decision because it changes what action would help. Social proof is strongest when the group feels similar to us. A parent may trust other parents more than a celebrity. A small business owner may trust another owner's advice more than a general advertisement. Online numbers becomes more reliable when it appears more than once. It also matters who pays the cost. A person recommending a free app has less at stake than someone recommending a surgeon, landlord, school, or insurance policy. The seriousness of the decision should raise the standard of proof. Local experience should be checked before accepting the most comfortable explanation. A better response is not to ignore social proof completely. The crowd can be useful data. The mistake is treating it as the only data. Combine it with direct evidence, personal needs, and the consequences of being wrong. Purchase urgency needs to be connected with the actual consequence. One practical habit is to slow down when a choice feels attractive mainly because many people want it. Ask what you would think if the crowd disappeared. If the answer changes completely, social pressure may be doing most of the work. The group you trust keeps the topic grounded in daily life. Social proof can also be used well. Surrounding yourself with people who save money, study seriously, communicate honestly, or take health seriously makes those behaviors feel more normal. The group becomes a support system instead of a trap. Evidence behind the crowd can be found in behavior, documents, timing, or repeated choices. The key is to separate signal from imitation. A crowd can point toward real value, but it can also magnify noise. Numbers deserve attention, not obedience. Healthy social norms makes the issue easier to name in plain words. Social proof explains why people often choose with their eyes on other people. That habit is natural, but it should not replace judgment. The smartest use of social proof is to let the crowd alert you, then let evidence and your own situation decide. A useful test is to ask whether the crowd has real experience or only visible excitement. 10 experienced parents recommending the same stroller after months of use is different from thousands of strangers clicking a trend because everyone else is clicking it. The first kind of social proof carries information. The second may only carry momentum. Social proof also changes with the group being observed. Advice from people with similar needs may matter more than advice from a large but unrelated crowd. A beginner buying running shoes should care about comfort, injury history, and use case, not only what elite athletes or influencers wear. The right crowd can guide, the wrong crowd can distract. Social proof is strongest when the choice feels uncertain. That is why people read hotel reviews before booking, look at empty restaurants differently from busy ones, and feel safer choosing a product that many others have already bought. The shortcut saves time, but it can also make popularity feel like proof before the person has checked the details. Another clue is whether people would make the same choice without being watched. Some choices are public performances. Others reflect private satisfaction. A crowded restaurant with repeat local customers tells a different story from a place that is busy only because tourists line up for a photo. The trap is confusing popularity with quality. A product can become popular because it is genuinely useful, because it is cheap, because it is promoted heavily, or because people fear missing out. Those reasons lead to very different decisions. A careful buyer looks beyond the number and asks what created the number. Social proof is not something to ignore. It is information about what other people are doing. The mistake is treating it as the whole answer. The crowd can point you toward something worth checking, but your own judgment still has to decide whether the choice fits your needs, risks, and values.